Hi friends, I'm Anand. I've opened a new YouTube channel which is called as Spirituality Made Simple. My objective is to simplify the spiritual concepts and this whole concept of spirituality and to explain how we can apply this in our day-to-day life and how we can benefit from that. So that's my whole objective. I'll be posting multiple videos, part 1, part 2, part 3 and so on. So I hope you will enjoy this and you'll be able to apply this in your life and benefit from this. And I'll be happy to see that. So let us start with this. So generally the opinion about spirituality and spiritual concepts is that this is a subject which is something to be discussed with maybe some monk or in some, while doing meditation or in some ashram or when we are done with everything in life and when we are done with all our responsibilities and after retirement. So this is the kind of opinion generally people have, but it is not so. Spirituality is something which can be applied in our day-to-day life and we can use it to solve our day-to-day life problems. That's how we have to see it. So in fact it is not after you're done with all your responsibilities. It should be taken up even before starting your life, so that before even taking your responsibility, if you are ready and prepared, you will be able to handle all your problems. You will not be afraid of handling your problems. You will be able to easily manage your problems. You will be able to easily come out of your problems and act effectively in the world. So that's the objective. Even if you a 10th standard student, before stepping into his life, if he understands this whole concept and if he is able to apply, then he will be able to handle his further life incidents better. So that's the whole objective. So that is what I am trying to convey through these videos. Other thing is, we don't need to relate the spirituality with any of our concepts related to God or spiritual gurus or any other faith, religious faith or any other faith that we have or any other concepts that we have. We don't need to link this with that at all. What I am going to talk about is a simple, which are just simple scientific facts, simple psychological facts. Okay, so this is something which I have checked inside my system. I have experimented and tested inside my system. So you can also test it. You will be also able to experiment it within yourself, like how we do a scientific experiment in a science lab. It is as simple as that. And when I say experiment, it doesn't mean that you should have some great philosophical knowledge or some great theories and some great concepts. No, I'm only going to talk about some basic, simple scientific facts, psychological facts. So you will be able to easily apply this within yourself and be able to see what happens. Okay, so which means, so you can have all your concepts of religiousness or God or a spiritual guru, whatever faith you have. You don't need to connect this with that. You can have all that with yourself. There is no problem with that. Okay, but let us approach this with an open mind. So what I mean by open mind is, let us not come with a pre-conclusion. So let us approach this like, I'm going to talk about few concepts or few facts. So you can look at it as, you can try to experiment this. You can come with a motive of testing this out. You can come up with a motive of experimenting this out by yourself. Okay? You don't need to conclude it before even experimenting. That's the whole point which I'm trying to convey. Okay. So, what are the tools we have? So we have only two things, right? We have a body, we have our mind or the psychological system. Okay. So body, so when we talk about body, that is something related to healthcare. How do we maintain our body? What are the healthcare techniques and all that? So there are so many experts in the healthcare, field of healthcare. You should watch those videos and understand them. So we are not going to talk about that here. Okay. You can take up those and watch those videos. So what we are going to talk about is only the psychological system, the mind and other concepts related to that. So we are going to only look at that only. Okay, so coming to mind or a psychological system, what is the problem? What is our problem generally? So if you ask someone, what will they say? Generally, people will talk about, I have stress, pressure, lack of peace, lack of restlessness, worry, anger, frustration, so many things, all these negative emotions. That is our problem. And all the positive emotions, the happiness, joyfulness, freedom, peace, all of that you can say. Right? So what is our problem? So all these negative feelings, we don't want all these negative feelings to happen. Right? We'll be happy if all these things doesn't occur in us, and we'll be happy if all the positive emotions occur in us always. So that is our expectation. So the problem is we have such a list. We have that, we always expect that all these positive emotions should occur in us and all these negative emotions should not occur in us. So that is our expectation. But the reality is different. So this is our wish list, this is our expectation, but the reality is something else. So there is a gap between this expectation and reality. So that is the problem. So the problem is there is always a gap. So we have to bridge this gap. Otherwise what happens is the mind always tries to always worried about that it is not able to reach this, because the reality is different, the expectation is different. So this difference causes this friction. There is always a constant friction or a struggle going on in our mind. So that is what is causing all this lack of peace, restlessness, or looking for some peace or silence or whatever you can call. So that is the whole problem. So the problem is we have a list, an expectation, and our mind is not acting according to that expectation. So that is where the whole problem lies, right? So let us see why it is happening so. So assume we are buying a smartphone or a TV or a computer, right? So generally you will have an instruction manual, an operating manual along with that, right? So if you don't read that, or if you are not aware of that features, then for example, if you take a remote, if you press a volume control button, then something else will happen, right? If you don't know, if you press the button wrongly, if you press the volume button, then brightness will increase. If you press the channel button, then volume will increase. Or if you press some other button, TV will get power off. So all these problems. The problem is because you don't know how to operate, right? You're not aware of the instructions or the instruction manual that is given for this, right? So that is the problem with mind as well. So we are not very clear on what to do, what not to do, when to be active, when to be silent, when to step out, step back, when to step in. So we are not completely clear on this concept. So that is why this gap exists, and we are always in a constant struggle or a constant kind of friction keeps happening. So what is this list we have? For example, if you see in a situation, suppose you are writing an exam, then we have a list, we have a condition that we should be always kind of be positive, stress-free, and all enthusiastic and all that. And we should not be stressed, we should not be anxious, we should not be under pressure. We have such a list. These are the things I should not have, these are the things I should have in a situation. Or similarly in a family situation, if you talk about a family situation, then I should not be angry, there should not be conflict of interest or conflict, difference of opinion, there should not be worries, and there should be love, affection, care. So we have such expectation that these are the things we should not have, these are the things we should have, and we already saw that the problem is the gap between the expectation and the reality. So that is the whole problem. So we will see in detail, and we also saw that this gap is because we are not aware or we are not clear on how to operate this mind. So that is the whole problem. So we will see in detail, step by step, as to how to understand this mind and what is happening and how to bridge this gap. That's our whole approach, right? So we will see this subsequently in detail. Meanwhile, please subscribe so that you will get a message notification for every video that I post. So you will be able to easily follow the subsequent videos. And if you have any queries, feedback or comments or questions, anything of that sort, please put in the comment section, or I'll also give my number. You can contact me and give your feedback. So we'll meet again in the next video. Thanks, and we'll see you until then. Thank you. Bye.